Wait, maybe I should sync up the sound again. One more time, just in case.
Got plans, I got flake out if you down for me. I know my friends understand you going through.
All right, welcome to this podcast. Welcome to Not Everyone's Cup of Tea. I have actually done an episode before. This is not the first one, but this is the first one where I feel more confident in what I'm doing. I really set up my ish. I got my ish together. I have my laptop here. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty. But in the last one, I literally didn't even talk about myself much. So how can you guys really care about what I'm saying if you don't know who I am? I mean, you can, but like, you know, it's going to be like a little get to know me type thing, you know? So yeah, we're going to start with the basics. My name is Ruth. I am 24, turned 24 3 months ago, my God, in May. I'm a Taurus. And I have 5 siblings. I am the second of 6 kids. My parents are still married. They've been married for, today's their anniversary actually. So they've been married for, I think, 31 years now, I believe. Long time. Well, a good chunk of time, longer than I've been around, so obviously it makes sense. And I just have some basic questions here to answer about myself. But before we get into more of the Q&A, like about me, I'll just talk a little bit about what this podcast, basically, we'll be getting into, it's called Not Everyone's Cup of Tea because I don't think that I'm necessarily everyone's cup of tea. And I don't mean that in a way to degrade myself or anything like that, insult myself. I think that each person offers something unique to the world and that we all have a different experience on this earth. And I feel, and I have felt often, different from others, not just because like I'm African or because I'm a woman or because I'm an introvert, like different things. I've just always felt like a little different, and because of that, since I was a kid, I've been trying to embrace what makes me different and unique to help me cope and survive, basically. And it turned into me, my whole personality almost is like being different from people. There are things like now I've learned more so how to let myself be part of communities and groups and subgroups and whatever your subsets. But still, I think it's important to embrace who you are and be authentic. That's one of like the biggest things for me when it comes to people and myself, like being authentic. If someone isn't authentic, like I can't vibe with them. So vibes and energy, all that ish, that's really my stuff. So yeah, talk about all that. Things like friendship, my perspective on life, and I also talk about law of attraction. Every once in a while we'll talk about that. Writing, shows, we'll get into everything. Just from my perspective, and also opinions on like things that are happening right now, like social matters, because I'm not gonna stay silent about those things. I think it's important for me to share my voice, not just to spread awareness, but also I know how lonely it can be if you feel like you're the only one that has a certain opinion. You're like, oh, is it just me? Like maybe I'm wrong, and sometimes that opinion is, you know, for the sake of everyone. So yeah, all those things. So, okay, now you know about what the podcast is about, and now we're gonna get into the Q&A. Okay, let me be honest, I pulled some basic questions off the internet. Okay, let's be self-real. I literally had to scour because some of the websites I found were just like not good. I was like, what is this? Like, what kind of stuff are you guys? I don't know. It was, how do I even explain it? Just like awkward questions. It felt like it was written by AI in like 2010, 2012, something like that. I don't know. That doesn't really describe it, but if you saw the questions, I feel you'd understand my description of it. Not a great description. But anyway, get into the basics. Okay. What is your favorite color? My favorite color, actually I have 2, pink and blue. I remember for a time there when I was a kid, I was ashamed to say it was pink because there was a time, if you are like my age or older, for a long time actually, I think only recently it's become okay for people to say that their favorite color is pink, because pink was like, oh, ew, it's so girly. Like, it's literally a color. Like, let's not be toxic, okay? So yeah, probably like back in high school, I was able to like start saying it again, like, yeah, my favorite color is pink. But also I realized I really love blue. I usually like, not this like shade of blue, a little darker than this, like more of like a punch, but not navy either. Like I like navy blue, but it's not my favorite color. So, yeah, like a warmer blue, but that has some pop to it, if that makes sense. That's the kind of blue I like. And also even with pink, I like more like pastel colors. When it comes to pink, Also something with a pop. But then when it comes to colors in general, I like softer colors, pastels, or dark colors like black. I love to wear black. I wear a lot of black. You guys will see me wear black lipstick several times on this podcast, so you'll see what I mean when I say I like to wear black, and a lot of like grays and stuff. Indoors or outdoors? Listen, I like being outside. I do love breathing the fresh air. I used to spend a lot of time at parks and the beach when I lived in Toronto. But I really love being inside. For me, it's more so, especially now, like, I like being outside more in the spring and the fall. And I like being inside in the summer because it's hot AF, you know? And then obviously in winter, it's good to be inside. Well, I like it because it's warm inside, but I also love the winter. So it's like here and there. I like going outside to like play badminton, go to the beach. I love going to the beach. I'll just like sit. I'll lay on the sand, obviously with like a towel or something, and just like soak in the sun. But other than that, like, yeah, I mean, I like to go hiking here and there, but I'm definitely more of a homebody for sure. What is one thing you could not live without? I could not live without, I think, someone to talk to. Not just like any person, like someone that I really get along with. For sure, like I'm definitely on the quieter side compared to a lot of people. But when it comes to like every day, I do need someone to like bounce ideas off of. Like I do like to talk to people. I can be very talkative, as you can see. So yeah, I could not live without someone to talk to. In more of like a superficial sense, I don't think I could live without my phone. I mean, I'd survive, I'd be okay, but like I do so much stuff on my phone. Like right now, I'm really getting more serious about like social media. And I also do writing on my phone when I don't have my laptop on me. I record on my phone. I have to talk to people. Like I do a lot of stuff on my phone, so it's like an everything device for me. I have like a lot of stuff on here, so I would not. I'd miss out on a lot of stuff, a lot of important things if I didn't have my phone. Also, you know, security and things like that. Okay, what cuisine or food is your favorite? Okay, so for me, Congolese food is top tier. That's home. That's my love, my baby. Like, if I don't have it for long enough, like something feels off, you know, like if it's been like a month or so, I'm like, something's missing. Obviously Ugandan food is like right there next to it. Just because my mom is Congolese, so she cooked a lot of the food. Well, she cooked like almost all the food growing up. My dad is Ugandan, so she learned how to cook Ugandan food, and then she cooks that too. So it's confusing. If you're African, you know, like, especially if you have parents from two different African countries, like, you don't know what's what when you're a kid, so you confuse things a lot. Even now, like, I don't know for sure. I'm like, oh, is this from Uganda, from Congo? I don't know. So, yeah, those are the top tier for me. After that, Korean food is my favorite. Love Korean food. Love Korean noodles. I like the spice. Not like the really, really hot stuff, but when I go to this one Korean restaurant that's my go-to, I definitely get the hotter. It's like one level down from like the hottest they offer. I want to try the hottest one though. So next time I go there, I'll definitely try the hottest one. And then after that, I really like East Asian food. I'm really getting more into Thai food. I love Indian food. It's really good. I like Nigerian food. I like Jamaican food. Yeah, just mostly like Asian, African and Caribbean food. And then somewhere on the list lower, you'll find American food. Definitely not my favorite, but I do love fries as their own thing. I like pizza. I think we'll get into that soon. Okay, what inspires you? I am inspired by people that are able to dream, people that have made their dreams come true. Being able to look at the world outside of what we see it as and what we want it instead as what we want it to be, because that's how we got to where we are now. Like, who could imagine that we'd have all this technology, you know? Like, at one point, they didn't even have fire to cook food with. Like, let's be so for real. So for me, like, you have to be able to look outside of what we're just seeing, because I think the majority will always look at life and be like, okay, this is it. This is as far as we get, and, like, be realistic. But it's like, this is not as far as we get, because this isn't where we were like 100 years ago. So that's how I like to see the world. You know, people that can dream inspire me. Who is your favorite artist? Okay, I would say in terms of music, Jon Bellion is my favorite. I'm like a little iffy about him because he didn't say anything during BLM. And I was like, so you're on Twitter. So that's a little, but he is my favorite artist. I know 99% of his songs, almost all the lyrics, except for like some of the raps because it's a lot of lyrics. I'm like, I'd have to actually look up the lyrics and like learn them. But the other ones I just learned by listening to them. So I really love his music. I like his vibe. Just a little iffy on that BLM thing. Yeah. Okay. Do I have any regrets? I do not. I really love where I am now. I like the awareness that I have now about life. And I know for a fact that if I could go back and change something, it would change what's going on right now. And I cannot say that I want that. Like, I just want to keep growing from here. So I don't regret anything. My favorite actor. I don't think I can answer that question. I can't answer that question. I watch too many movies. I like watching movies is like my family's, like that's our joined hobby. I can't answer that question. Yeah, I can't. My favorite book though, I can answer that, is Joining by Joanna Lindsay. She's also my favorite author, so that is something that I can answer. That book was actually published the year I was born, which I think is pretty cool. I feel like it's low-key like kismet, like it was meant to be, you know? It's kind of weird. Not weird, but it's like kind of interesting that I read a book that's as old as me. But it's so well written, and in my opinion, she's like the queen of historical romance. Like, she just does it so well, and I love her books. Where do you want to live 10 years from now? Not in the South. Other than that, I don't know. I have to go around the country. Like, I haven't lived here for too long. It's gonna be 6 years in a few weeks. I don't know. Like, I want to live somewhere that has snow in the winter, but not like a ton of snow. It's somewhere that has snow for sure, but also somewhere that is more liberal with their politics, and somewhere that has like diversity is important to me. Yeah, other than that, I don't know. I mean, there are other things in there too that are important, but I'm really not sure yet. I have to look around. We'll see. It's taking a while. Goodness. Oh, I'm okay on time. Okay, would I rather live in the city or the country? The city. I used to think, like, you know, back in the day, especially, and Disney was good at this, shaming people for being city girls. Like, oh, you're just a city girl. And then you go to the countryside and learn how to ride a horse and how to farm and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, you know, they want to live in the country forever. Let's be so for real. I used to always be like, I'm not a city girl. I through and through a city girl. I've always lived in the city. I love the city. Toronto, that's where I grew up. Love the city. So I'm definitely a city girl. After living in the suburbs for years though, I do like the quieter areas, so I want like a mix of those two things, like not too far from like where things are happening, but also far enough that like I don't hear like sirens and like people talking outside my window every night, you know. Favorite food, watermelon. That's my love. Like, everyone knows, like, I'm just obsessed. Watermelon is the best thing ever created. Okay, like, God really gave us a gift. I love watermelon. Would you rather live in the city or the country? I already answered that. Okay, beer or wine. I think I tried beer once. Also tried vodka and tequila. Disgusting. I just like really sweet wines though, like really sweet wines. Coffee or tea? I prefer tea. Tea is my love, but I am drinking coffee right now. But I just drink coffee for the taste. It gets weird. Caffeine doesn't have a huge effect on me. I don't know why. Yeah, so for me, there's so much more. I feel like tea is multifaceted. I feel like there's a lot more you can get from tea. Also, as a Ugandan, grew up drinking tea. Like, if you know, you know. Tea is a very big deal in, like, Uganda. Like, we have, like, the really, like, the milky tea with, like, bread and stuff. My mom also loves tea. I don't know if they have a lot of tea in Congo. I'm not sure. If you're Congolese, you can answer that question. But grew up drinking tea in my house, so, like, tea is my love. I love herbal tea also. And Earl Grey tea is so good. Apartment or house? Townhouse. So it's, like, low-key in between. Lake or ocean? Lake. I said I was Canadian. Did you listen? And lakes are better. Also, lakes aren't salty. Like, the amount of salt that be in oceans, oh my God. How tall are you? I am basically 5'7". I'm 169 centimeters tall. which is a centimeter down from 5'7". So I say I'm 5'7", but I'm like literally right in between 5'6" and 5'7". But I grew a centimeter since I moved here, so I'm hoping I'm gonna grow again. You know, never too late. Where would someone find you on a hot summer day? Either inside where the AC is, or on the beach, laying back, probably under the shade, hopefully, if I can find some. Favorite holiday? Christmas is our favorite holiday. You guys will hear a lot about it in the months to come. Oh my gosh, bro. You can see the smile on my face. Literally, as soon as November 1st hits, I'm playing Christmas tunes. Pumping up the music, okay? Watching Christmas movies. I used to always get the Hallmark subscription because we didn't have it on YouTube TV before, but now we do. Like my home screen changes on my phone. I start thinking about gifts, just everything. Like I'm very much a winter wardrobe type person. I have so many cute winter outfits. I'm just so excited for winter and Christmas cookies and God, so excited. I love giving gifts. Favorite season? Spring and winter. I love the winter for all the reasons I mentioned. Love snow, but we don't have snow down here. And then spring, just because I can do more outside with people more easily. But yeah, spring and winter. What's your favorite pizza topping? Pineapple is so good on pizza. I know some people hate it, but I think it's amazing. I feel like it makes pizza better. Like it gives. Who knows you best? My sister Tamami. She's a year younger than me. A year and 7 months. Yeah, we're each other's number ones. So she knows me the best, but my family also knows me pretty well. My sisters know me best out of like my family, aside from Tamami, and then my brother also knows me pretty well. My mom knows me pretty well too, but you know, parents, African parents. Are you lazy or motivated? I'm motivated, but because I can be anxious and in my head, it sometimes comes off as lazy because like I feel like I can't like. My body just goes in like overdrive and I'm like, I don't even want to move. So yeah, let's light up a candle. Get vibes going in here. I don't know what this candle smells like. It's my brother's. So let's see. It says wild honey nectar, coconut and beeswax blend. Don't mind my little slip ups. I usually speak really fast. So I'm trying to talk slower. I stumble on my words sometimes. It's annoying. Okay, we're almost done with this list. Goodness. Who's your celebrity crush? My celebrity crush used to be Chris Evans. That man is a sweeter man, okay? But after he started dating a 25-year-old, I was like, one of them ones. So it's not him anymore. But I think now it is this man. Let me find his name. Oh, wait. Okay. He's in Mission Impossible. Oh, this is broken. Okay, yeah. His name is Greg Tarzan Davis. That man is attractive. He looks great when he's acting. Oof. I have plenty of other men I'd be like, oh God, look at him. Ooh, you know. But yeah, I think this is the first guy that came to mind, but like, trust me, I'll probably mention some in the future. Okay, are you an introvert or an extrovert? I said this, I'm an introvert. I'm an INFPT. I'm like 89% introverted. So, and most people can't tell when they meet me because I'm great at talking to people now. I've worked on that, and we can talk about how to work on that. If you're not great at talking to people, I've become better at socializing. Because of that, I think I'm good at hiding it, but I don't hide it on purpose or anything like that. I think I'm good at just like seeming like, you know, I'm outgoing. But yeah, like my default is introverted, and after trips and long periods of socialization, I need to hide away because otherwise I will scream at someone, probably. Not scream, but it's not fun for me. What is or would be your first tattoo? I have a Pinterest board. Give me a second. Like, that's one thing about me, even though I'm definitely not type A. I like to just vibe through life, you know. I like to keep some things organized though. So I love making Pinterest boards of things that I want in the future and like my style. I'm trying to like step more into my aesthetic. And I have a whole board for piercings and tattoos. I only have this one, aside from the two that I've had since I was a baby. This just like helix piercing. I want a lot more though. Like hopefully in the next year or two, you guys will see like I'm gonna look low-key like a different person. First tattoo though, it'll either be like a sibling tattoo type thing, something like inspirational, maybe in French, like dreamer to dream, something cheesy, maybe like love yourself, just something with meaning. Maybe it'll just be my name, or like a symbol that means something to me. Like I don't mind like a Taurus tattoo or anything like that, but something with meaning, with something simple. Like I don't have huge dreams for like my first tattoo. I just know what I want my arm, like I want a sticker sleeve. So yeah, I still have to think about it more, but like something in French probably. Okay.
Sorry. Did you feed the dog?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. How long ago was this?
Less than an hour ago.
Oh, I see. Interesting setup. Oh,
Well-
that's nice. Did you move these yourself?
No, he put them up. Ugh, gosh, I have to, I was supposed to record in the living room, but it took too long. You guys were all in there, so.
Yeah, it looked like a nice setup. Unfortunate for you.
Okay. Anyway, who do you trust with your life? My family for the most part. Yeah, my sisters know my wishes, especially to mommy and my mom. I think her goal would be to keep my best interests in mind. So yeah, I trust all of them. What is your biggest fear? Not accomplishing my dreams, inadequacy. Yeah, things like that. And I already said I'm a Taurus. I would also trust like a lot of my friends in my life. But like I feel like with your family, like I'm so close to my family, so I just know that they have my back on everything. But I have a lot of really good friends too. A few best friends. I love them a lot. You guys know who you are. My gal from Toronto. Alrighty. So now we are into the second half of the podcast. I actually am making good time. Like I thought it was gonna be like too slow, but we're doing well. So at this time, we are going to go into things on Reddit. Okay. Family. I do be on Reddit. I found it when I was looking for opinions on something that had pissed me off. Someone did something to me that made me upset. And I was looking for someone that agreed with me and my perspective. I just needed that in that moment. And I happened to find Reddit. And I haven't looked back since. I am someone who has a good head on her shoulders. So I do recognize a lot of the problematic things about Reddit. And they do piss me off sometimes. But I also know that, random strangers on the internet I don't need their help formulating opinions. So nowadays it's more so me going on there just to like look at the through the different communities I'm a part of, the different subreddits I'm a part of. Some of them are a mess though, because a lot of times it's people that are really it's a lot of people that are unhappy with their lives, and you can tell by the way they talk about people and comment on posts and the posts that they make. So I just be perusing. I mostly use it for law of attraction stuff. Like there's some good law of attraction success stories, specifically on the Neville Goddard subreddit. That's my favorite one. Other than that though, I do be perusing. I've gotten recently into a wedding dress one, which I love weddings. So yeah, I don't lead on it anymore. I just kind of look through, and I was looking through the other day and I found some interesting stuff. So we're gonna get into this first one. Oh, another thing about myself, I forgot to mention in my little introduce myself-ish. I am an English major. I'm actually graduating this semester, and my concentration is in creative writing. Go figure. I'm also a writer on Wattpad. I have almost 1,000 followers. I've been writing on Wattpad since I was 14, so it's been 10 years now. It's going to be 11 next January. So very exciting. I'm very happy about that. And yeah, okay. So here's the first one. So this first post I found on Unpopular Opinion, the Unpopular Opinion subreddit. And Reddit nowadays is just like, it's not just stuff that I follow. It'll suggest things to me, even like with communities I'm not a part of. Like things that it's like, oh, maybe you'll be into this, maybe you'll like this. And I was like, interesting. So I found this one, and it says, quote, coworkers aren't your friends, unquote, is a very sound rule. All right. There's a common rule that you shouldn't befriend your coworkers. I feel like it's a rule I've heard more in white collar career type jobs. I understand why it exists. There's value in work-life separation, and I followed this rule since I started working professionally. It's just really sad that we have to spend 40 hours per week keeping the people around us at arm's distance. I've noticed this seems less common in blue-collar work or jobs that aren't careers. When I worked in a kitchen in college, I met a guy that I became good friends with. His place was a party house, so I essentially met my entire small town through him. My mom told me the same. When she worked her various odd jobs in her 20s, I just want to skip this. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, basically they're saying, people meet people at work. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just that I'm in a field where people aren't known to be socialites, in engineering. I know I'm not the best at socializing either, and making friends has been such a lifelong struggle for me, but it still strikes me as kind of disturbing that a common piece of career advice is trust no one around you. Okay, so there are comments on this that are interesting. I'm gonna get into my thoughts though. So I have worked a lot of jobs, almost all exclusively in food service, and I also worked a couple jobs in customer service over the phone, and I feel like I can speak to this a lot. The thing is, I feel like it's okay to go to work and want to make friends with people you work with. You just have to be very careful about how you do it, and you have to have your walls up because, and someone said this in here also, this is your livelihood. Whether you like it or not, this is, for most people, how you're making money to pay your bills and feed your family or feed yourself, feed your animals, what have you. Like, you're using this money for your life. So you can't really be playing with it, you know what I mean? So it's not like it's, people say this like cynically. A lot of people that give this advice, myself included, are giving this advice to help you. Like, I have been friends with people that are friends with everyone at work, and it usually gets thrown back in their face because they trust people too much. People gossip about them. They think they're friends with people, but then they turn everyone against these people that I've been friends with, and it's just like an ugly situation where you tell someone something you think you can trust them with, and then they go and tattle to your boss. Like, they go open their big mouth and, just yappa, like all that nonsense. And it's unfortunate, but a lot of, like, some people are just really insecure, and they think that in this world there isn't enough for everybody, and they think that they need to smack somebody else up and do other people dirty to get ahead. And I don't think that's true at all, but some people genuinely believe that. They've been taught that their whole lives. So that's how they behave at work. So they might befriend you to your face, but then they're looking to make a friend and then turn on you for their gain. And it happens more often at work than you would think, unfortunately. Like, I've seen it happen. I worked at 2 different Starbucks, and it happened at both of those places. It's really weird, but people were just really, like, so not nice. Like, it was a really toxic environment, in my opinion. And I didn't have a lot of friends at both Starbucks, but I met one of my best friends, a really close friend at the one I worked at recently, and we both left. And yeah, I just had, people felt off for me there, a lot of people, and I was right about a lot of them just based off of like how I felt about like their energy. Is like, ooh, as that sounds, like I really tend to trust my intuition in that sense. So yeah, it's just, you have to be careful. Like, I would say if you want to make friends with people at work, my advice as someone who has made a few friends at work, one that I still have, actually no, I have 3 friends that I made at work, 2 from a different workplace. Just give yourself like double the time you would in real life to get to know and trust that person. I'm not saying necessarily test them, but I would say don't tell them anything before they tell you something. If you can. You can also just be honest about like, oh, like it's hard for me to trust people at work, da, 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 da. See what they say, see what their response is, see if you trust them. Hang out outside of work. I would give it like 4 months before you start to tell them anything about your personal life, and another like 6 months to 8 months before you start saying anything about work. You have to be really careful with what you say about work. But I would say you can say basic things about like yourself, simple things like, what you like my little Q&A, basic things about yourself. But the nitty gritty, you need to wait a while before you can trust this person, because if you're working together, you don't know for sure. All right, we're syncing up the audio again because it stopped recording. Okay, audio sync. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this. Okay, so next we're gonna go into, what's this next one? Oh, this one. This one. Okay. Gosh, what? You literally, okay, thank you. All right, we're still going strong with the recording. Thank you, Audacity. All right. This one I found on the dating subreddit, which, we'll probably keep reading posts from there in the future. It can be very toxic, misogynistic, and racist. Just letting you know. But there are some good posts on here. Some interesting posts on here for sure. All right, so let's get into this one. I'm extremely attracted to thin women, he said to me, a fat woman. Okay, I'm a fat woman. I don't use fat in a derogatory way. I simply use it as a descriptor, the same way someone would use skinny as a descriptor. Okay, I'm not gonna read this whole thing because it's long. But basically, what happened was she started dating this guy, and they're doing like a get to know you question thing. And then he told her he thinks that she's cute despite being fat. And then he said that he's really, and they already slept together and everything. He said that he's really attracted to skinny people, skinny women, but he likes to have sex with her and likes her boobs. And he's basically, what else did he say here? He's attracted to her attitude and personality, but not who she is as a person. Okay, so we seem to be getting into a lot of like discourse about fat phobia, and obesity and health at every size, body positivity, all those things. And there are definitely two sides of the discussion. And I think there might be people that fall in the middle, but it's hard to fall in the middle because if you do, you usually fall to the fat phobic side. Like you don't usually really fall in the middle. You're just pretending to. In this case, this guy, I think he's not even like, when I look this up, when I scrolled through the comments, he is also fat himself. So clearly he has some kind of self-hatred. He has some inner fat phobia going on. But basically, and this is always my answer to things like this, I can't get into the whole fat phobia discussion right now because it's a long discussion and that deserves its own podcast episode. Like, we really need to get into that. But people like to act like there's only one body that is attractive, and that is not true. And we've seen that it's not true because I've seen plenty of plus size and fat women that are happy in happy relationships, not just with fat men, but also more like average sized men and thinner men, fit men that look like they're fit, that have the fit look, and they're in happy relationships. I've seen it time and time again, and I feel like that alone proves that it's not true. But also, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This is a belief that I hold very near and dear to my heart. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like, you cannot tell someone what to find attractive, but you can teach it as people, are young. So most people subscribe to the societal definitions and whichever country and place that they're from of what is beautiful. But there are outliers, and there are more people that are like, actually, I like this and I like that. But they tend to see it as more like, oh, is it like a kink? Is that like, should I be ashamed about this? The people that are, growing up and are mature and more so like secure in themselves can see that that's like what they're attracted to. But it's not as many people, but there are definitely more guys I'm seeing. And like, there are more men than you think that are secure in their own standards and are not as fat phobic as what we're seeing on social media. I think you just have to be patient enough and have your standards high enough to find them. Don't settle for the guy that thinks that you need to lose weight right now, because there are men that will love you, or people that will love you for who you are right now. So there are people that find women attractive at any size. There are people that find bigger women particularly attractive. And there are people that do, obviously a lot of people that prefer smaller bodies, but that should not matter to you. Just wait until you find your mans, vibe on that level, expect greatness, expect high standards, and you'll get that. But don't waste your time with mans like this. There's so much more in this post, but it's long. So maybe I'll talk about it in like an episode about fat phobia, but There's no need to waste your time with mans like this. Like, they're, no. Like, please, no, dear God. Okay. I'm so sorry. I don't know what that sound was. Okay, this guy was funny. All right, so another dating subreddit post, and it's titled, I Just Don't Get Girls. For me, this already says a lot about the guy that's posting, because how are you putting all women into a box? Like, you're telling me, first of all, he didn't say women, he said girls. Red flag number one. I do call other women girls, but I don't know. I feel like it's different because, like, I think sometimes I still see myself as, like, 15 because, like, I don't know. Like, you know, aging is weird, but, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've met too many guys that use the term girls in a derogatory way or, like, to be insulting, and but I would say it's an orange flag. Okay. It seems like every time I connect well with a girl and we're having a great time, things suddenly fizzle out. I'm at a point where I'm starting to lose hope. For example, a couple of days ago, I got a girl's number and I thought that was a positive sign. We went out for a meal, had an amazing time. I texted her the next day, keeping it casual. She took a day to respond and said, sorry, I just wasn't in the right headspace. I told her it was fine and asked if everything was okay. Our conversation only lasted a few minutes and then she went quiet again. I want to send her a message, but I don't want to come across as pushy. I'm just getting tired of trying so hard. Okay, so first of all, I could be wrong, but I don't think he tried that hard. It's not like he pulled out all the stops, okay? Second of all, she clearly isn't that interested in you, but because one person isn't interested in you, you say, I don't get all girls. Also, as I look through the posts, eventually he said something that was, like, insulting. There's something that he said that was really telling. But I feel like it's interesting to me how there are a lot of women, including myself in the past, that put a lot of themselves out there, change themselves for man's attention, and then feel like they just need to give up because all these guys are acting the same, they just want sex, or they aren't taking the relationship seriously, blase, blase. And then every once in a while I see posts like this where guys are like, oh, I don't understand girls. And I'm confused because I'm like, which girls are you dating? Like, I feel like so many guys go after women that they know deep down aren't that interested in them. And I feel like also, as we've seen, like, recently on social media, well, I've seen at least, we're realizing that a lot of guys have a different idea of when we're connecting than girls do, women do, what have you. Like, just a smile for them is like, oh, we're connecting really well. But then in our heads, we're like, oh, we're just being nice. So I think there's just a lot of miscommunication. But I think in general, like, it's not that serious. Like, you can't put all of us into a box because one person wasn't interested in you. Like, that's okay. If she's not interested in you, that's fine. And if you don't want to come across as pushy and that's your reason for not communicating, that's really your problem. But just say something, bro. Like, I don't even know who this person is, and they probably won't even see this podcast, but yeah, just communicate your needs and don't put everyone into one box. Like, that'll probably help you with your interactions with girls. Okay, next. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, this one is friendship advice. I have so many thoughts about friendship. Oh my god, I have so many thoughts. Okay, friendship advice. I forget that I'm not going to cut a lot of this out, so it's just going to be sitting there. Okay, is it wrong to expect friends to care for you the way you care for them? No. Okay, I don't have to read this because I kind of know what they're saying, but basically, you put a lot of, like, your effort into a friendship and it's not returned. I've experienced this a lot in recent years, and a lot just, like, throughout my life. I genuinely feel like friendships aren't held to the same standard as other relationships, like your family and especially romantic relationships. I definitely think that they should be, because you have so many more friendships in your life than you do other relationships. Like, you only really have a set number of immediate family members, and will usually have one partner. Some people have multiple, but most of us only have one. And even then, how many multiple partners will you have? Like, let's be so for real. So, the amount of friends that people tend to have and the effort you tend to put in your friendships, I feel like we need to have higher standards for them and hold our friends to higher standards. I also think that we don't need to settle for when we're being treated badly. One thing I will say though, okay, so definitely you need to expect your friends to care about you the way you care for them. I would say I used to do this a lot. I complained that people aren't reaching out to me, but I also wasn't reaching out to them. And once I started doing that, I was like, oh wow, look at that. We have a great relationship. There are some people though that have disrespected me and then respected my other friends, and we're like in the same friend group, and I'm like, oh, that person needs to go. So it happens sometimes, and again, we'll talk about this more in detail. We're just touching on a few different topics here. What I will say though is that the one thing that is good about friendships, and because of the way that they're treated in society, is that as you're looking for new friends and you're opening yourself up, you can keep the friends you have now, keep it casual, and then you can also keep them later and just not put as much effort into the relationship, and then you'll still have, those friends, but you're not over here worried about, oh my gosh, they didn't respond to my message. Are we going to hang out? No, do they even care about me? Because you have other people in your life and you have other things to keep yourself busy. Okay. And okay. I can say okay so many times. What is this? Okay, so this one I have not read yet, and I'm kind of scared. This is from the Ask Women subreddit, and it's marked not safe for work, 18 plus. So, okay. It says, what's a secret you can never tell your parents, and why do you feel you can't tell them? Just a disclaimer, I'm not going to be sharing my secrets that I would never tell my parents, because they might watch this one day, and because then what's the point? Yes, I'm over 18. Okay. All right. Okay, let's start with this person. Oh. Damn, okay. I'm not going to read this one because it might trigger somebody. Damn, these are actually deep. Okay. My mother is a great and caring person, but she shouldn't have had kids until she at least tried to fix her emotional issues. She thinks she was a great mother in difficult situations, and I'm so smart and strong, but in reality, she parentified me and used me emotionally to fulfill her needs from childhood. Her mother denied her emotionally, and she complains how hurt she is without realizing she did the same to me, just in a different way. Not to mention the fact that she's the reason I don't want kids. I can never tell her that. How do you say I already raised myself and my siblings, so why would I want another kid without hurting them? Damn. I will say my mom was a great mom, and she definitely did her best, but I can relate to the thing about like being parentified. Like, I definitely helped a lot more with my siblings than most kids should. But again, my mom did her best, and I appreciate her, and I have more empathy for the situation. And also, I do appreciate the experience I had. I feel like it shaped me into the person I am today. But I do have some issues because of it, so it's here and there. Okay. Oh my God, these are actually really sad. Oh, the older librarian who mentored me from 16 to 19 was actually my girlfriend. How old was this librarian is my question. Oh my God. You're not gonna love the response? Okay. Because I've lost my virginity before marriage and have had multiple boyfriends, and then I have a tattoo and drink. LOL. My parents are religious immigrants. They would have a heart attack. Okay. I worked in a bar. Okay, I can't read this. I don't want to read anything about like sexual assault just because I don't want to trigger anybody, and I didn't do any trigger warnings at the beginning. And this episode's intended to be lighter, so yeah, these are actually really sad. The fact that it's on the Ask Women subreddit says a lot. It doesn't surprise me, but it says a lot. Like, women go through so much, and the fact that people still don't take our stuff seriously, it's always interesting. Always interesting. That's why you gotta keep your standards high if you are a straight woman. What did your father do to you? Okay. Damn, someone said I don't love them. That's really sad. Okay. Damn. These are actually very sad. All right. Okay, so because so many of these are so sad, we're gonna go into one more little thing somewhere else. And definitely, like, I do want to get into serious topics at some point. But like I said, this is like the technically first, it's the second, but technically first proper episode. So my intention was just to introduce myself and keep it light. But we are going to talk about serious things in the future. Okay, there were some things I wanted to say though. Let's see. Okay, the last thing we're going to go into, and this is a complete 180, but just let it happen, is things that are weirdly attractive. This will be a podcast thing in and of itself on another episode, but I just want to go into a few things that I think are, and I hope I can explain them in the future because I don't know why they are. But okay, let's start with number one. So 3 things that are weirdly attractive to me on men, to be specific. Okay. I think it's weirdly attractive, and I say weirdly because I don't know, again, why I find this attractive, but I think it's so attractive when men, like, when a guy wears glasses. I don't know why. Specifically, like, the bigger rims, you know, not like the super small ones, but as long as they look good in his face. I don't know why. I could not tell you, but for me, if the man's already good looking and he has glasses, I'm like, ooh, my God, you know, just bumped him up like 5 points. Jesus. I don't know why. I think a lot of people think this is true. You gotta roll up your sleeves. Rolling up your sleeves for me is just like, you're doing life properly, you know? Like, if you roll up your sleeves, you know what you're doing with your life. That's another thing that is just, again, I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. But, you know, this one is interesting because I used to say the opposite when I was younger, this next one, but it is true. I, for whatever reason, think it's very attractive when men have beards. I think beards are very attractive. I think facial hair just adds to the man, you know. I feel like it makes them look so good. And not to say he can't have a clean shaven face, depends on the guy, but facial hair, it really gives, in my opinion. The Wattpad part of me, something that I find attractive also is when the man, like, is possessive, but not in, like, the aggressive way, but just, like, his, like, an action. Like, for example, you're sitting on the couch, and it's just, like, a little, you know, oh, arm around the whatever, or, like, you're just chilling, and maybe he, like, touches your leg or something. I'm like, oh my God, like, stop it. Things like that. I can't think of all of them right now. When, like, the right man, and he didn't just piss me off. Just a little, you know, ooh, things like that, bro. I don't know why. Or the little legs, but I don't know why. I feel like all the guys around like, oh, I can't do anything around her anymore. Don't worry. If we're friends, we're friends. We're just friends. Okay. Anything else? Ooh, you know, like, that look that man's be giving? Like, a little side smile out of her. Like, say I'm taking a picture next to each other and he just a little, ooh. If you know that your gal is just top tier, for me, knowing who you're with and knowing her value is attractive. Like, that confidence in yourself also is attractive. Carry yourself well, that's attractive. What else? Is there anything else? Ooh, the little waist grab things. Ooh. Oh my gosh, they're just a bunch of things, but those are just a few of the things. And I wouldn't say that, like, those are weirdly attractive things, but I just don't know why. They just are. All right, so I don't think there's anything else left for today. like I said, I just wanted to talk about myself and my thoughts on things, and we're gonna get into more serious, interesting, fun, funny topics and discussions in the future. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you are listening on, I think it's gonna go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and I forget what the other website I'm putting it on. If you're listening on those, please leave us a rating. Leave me a rating. I'd appreciate it very much so. 5 stars. Leave as much as you want, but 5 stars, you know. If you are listening and watching on YouTube, go ahead and like that video and subscribe. On all of those platforms, you know, make sure you subscribe or follow. I don't know, I forget what it is on Spotify and Apple, but yeah, you don't want to miss an episode. The goal is to have these out every week. And let me know what you want me to talk about in the future. We are going to get into the nitty-gritty. I also have a vlogging and lifestyle channel that I post on regularly as well, so you should go and follow that. It is just my name, Ruth Nagawa. I will link it on my channel page for this YouTube channel. And go follow me on Wattpad if you like reading books. And I also have a blog, and I have so many things. Go follow me on Instagram too, TikTok, like there's so many places. I just want to connect with you guys, and yeah. And let me know what your experiences were with some of the things I talked about today. Let me know a little bit about yourself too. How many interests we have here, how many experts we have listening. And yeah, I just want to connect with you guys. I'm very excited about this channel, about this podcast. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I'm sending love to you at this time. Especially if you're going through something. I hope you're okay. I'm glad you're still here. And I will see you in the next episode. And if you're having a great day, good for you. I'm very happy for you. I'm having a good day as well. And again, I will see you in the next episode. Sending lots of love to you guys. And mwah, mwah, mwah.
I got plans, I got flake out if you're down for me. I know my friends understand you gon' hit the town with me. They know I'm invested in connection. You keep your ex at your mentions. Wanna get a mention. Spend my pension on you when you